Hi, it's Amanda from Muncie Public Library, and today we are going to learn how to make pita bread as part of our Passport to Another Land program. This month we are exploring Greece. First thing you need to do is gather your ingredients. 3½ cups flour, 2 teaspoons salt, 4 tablespoons olive or vegetable oil, and 1½ cups warm water. Okay, get your mixing bowl and something to stir with. You're going to add your flour to the bowl. Then the salt. Give it a stir. And make a well in the middle. Pour the warm water into the flour. Go slow so it doesn't splash everywhere. Followed by the oil. Gently stir, scraping the flour up from the bottom of the bowl. Mix until the liquid is evenly distributed through the flour. It will look messy and lumpy, not smooth. That's okay. Next, sprinkle some flour on the counter. Scrape the dough out of the bowl onto the counter. Get that bowl nice and clean. Then, put some flour on your hands, and starting with the sides of your hands, begin gently bringing the dough together. Once it comes together, you're able to knead. Slide your hand under the dough on the far side and fold it toward you. Push the dough away with the heel of your hand. Turn the dough as you go so that you are kneading in all directions. When the dough gets sticky, sprinkle a little more flour on the counter around and beneath the dough. Knead until the dough feels springy and is cohesive. This takes a little while. Keep adding flour as you need to, then tuck it into a ball. Put a couple of teaspoons of oil in the bottom of a bowl and swirl it around. Put the dough into the bowl and turn it to coat all sides with oil. Cover with plastic wrap or a clean towel and set aside to rest for 30 minutes. After the dough has rested, sprinkle some flour on the counter. Then put the dough on the counter. You'll notice it hasn't risen much because we didn't put yeast in it, but it is smoother and more elastic. You're now going to cut the dough into 8 mostly equal parts. I do this by cutting it in half, and then cutting each half in half again, and then cutting each of those pieces in half. Heat a heavy skillet over medium heat. You might want to spray the pan or oil it if it isn't a nonstick pan. Wait until it's good and hot. Whenever I make pita, the first few are kind of test pitas. They taste good, but they don't always look great. What you want is a really hot pan so that the pita starts to cook as soon as it hits the heat. Now take one of the dough balls and pat it into a disc. Then roll it, turning it as you go so it stays mostly round. Don't roll your pitas less than 1/4 inch thick. If you roll your pita too thin, it won't puff up and make a pocket. It'll still taste good, but it won't have a pocket. Brush your pita with water and put it wet side down in the hot pan. Watch as bubbles form. As they start to get larger and join, you can gently press the bubble with a spatula to encourage the whole pita to puff. If it doesn't puff, don't worry. Just cook until you don't see any doughy spots. It will still taste good. It just won't have a pocket. Honestly, this is the best one I've ever made, and I've made a lot of pitas. It just takes practice, but it's a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me for Passport to Cooking. Check out all the other great programs on Muncie Library's website and YouTube channel.